Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Vallabha Hari Jaya Gopi Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Yashodanandana Vrajadanandana Yashodanandana Vrajadanandana Vrajadanandana Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya 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 Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jai Srimad Paramahamsa, Sri Bhagavatam Chakra Stotra Satya Sri Srimad, His Divine Grace, Hirabai Charan Arvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Sri Prabhupada ki Jai. Mantra Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Iskandaviti Founder Charya Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Namacharya Sri Hariya Thakur ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakti Vrinda ki Harinam Sankirtan ki Kankaraj Bhagavatam ki Jai. I go to Pimanand. All glories to be assembled devotees, all glories to be assembled devotees, all glories to be assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru, to Sri Gauranga, all glories to Sri Prabhupada. Om Ajnanatirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksharanmritam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhisam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadam Chikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Parakamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavam Syam Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tvam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Sakanvitam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tatakansana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Suti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansakalpa Tarubhyasya Sriva Sindhu Jaivasya Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskritya
Dharam Shaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Sarasatim Vyasam
Devam Saraswatam Yasam Gajayam Deraye.
Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is a very means of conquest, let us first offer respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, unto Nara Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayesha badreshu
Nasta presha badreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Utamashloke
Bhagavati Uttamashloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
Bhaktir Bhoti Nastiki.
By regularly hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam and by rendering a service unto the pure devotee, all that is troublesome within the heart becomes destroyed practically to nil, and a loving devotional service unto the Supreme Lord, whose praise with transcendental songs becomes established as an irrevocable fact. Idam Bhagavatam Nama
Idam Bhagavatam Nama
Puranam Brahmasamitam
Puranam Brahma Samitam
Uttama Shloka Charitam
Tamashloka Charitam
Chakara Bhagavan Rishi
Sakara Bhagavan Rasi
Nishreya Sayalokasya
Nisasa Lokasya
Dhanyam Svastaya Namaha.
Dhanyam Shastya Namaha.
This Srimad Bhagavatam, known as the Grantaraj, the king of all Vedic literatures, is the literary incarnation of God. It is compiled by the incarnation of God as Srila Vyasadeva. It is meant for the ultimate good of all people. It is all successful, all blissful, and all perfect. Shri Chaitanya
Sri Krishna Chaitanya
Prabhu Nityananda
Prabhu
Shri
Nityananda
Advaita
Sri
Gadadhara
Advaita Gadadhara
Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta
Sri
Vrinda.
Vashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare
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 Rama Hare Rama
Hare Rama Hare Rama
Rama Rama Hare Hare
Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Surabhyaya
Om
Namaha
Surabhya Namaha.
Om Surabhyaya
Om
Namaha
Surabhya Namaha.
Om Surabhyaya Namaha
Om Surabhya Namaha.
Mukam karoti vacharam Gayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Sri Guru Dinataram Yat Kripa Tamaham Bande Sri Guru Dinataram. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome to our morning Bhagavatam class. Today we continue with the second canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 1, entitled The First Step in God Realization. And today we are reading text number 33. We are getting close to the end of this chapter. There are 39 verses. So this chapter is especially focused on the description, a detailed description of the Virat Rupa, or universal form of the Lord. The text number 32. Vidho Taraus. So
Vrido Tarasto
Dhara
Dhara
Eva
Eva
Lobho
Lubho
Dharma
Dharmaha
Tano
Tana
Dharma
Dharma
Tato
Katho
Sya
Shya
Istham
Krishtam
Tas
Kash
Tasya
Tasya
Nidram
Nidram
Vrishana
Vrishna
Cha
Cha
Mitrao
Mitrau
Kukshihi
Kukshi
Samudra
Samudra
Girayo
Girayo
Sti
Sti
Sangaha
Sangaha
Vridho tarasto dara eva lobho.
Vridho tarasto dara eva lobho.
Dharmastano dharma pato shapistam.
Dharmastano dharma pathosya pristam.
Kastasya medram Vrishanau cha mitrao.
Kastasya dvimedram risnau cha mitra.
Kukshi samudra girayosti sangha.
Kuksi samudra girayosti sangha.
Vidho tarasto dhada eva lobho.
Vidho tarasto dhara eva lobho.
Dharmastano dharma pato shapistam.
Dharmastano dharma pathosya pristam.
Kastasya medram grishanau cha mitrao.
Kastasya medram risnau cha mitra.
Ukshi samudra girayosti sangha.
Kuksi samudra girayosti sangha.
Vidho tarasto dhara eva lobho.
Vidho tarasto dhara eva lobho.
Dharmastano dharma pato shapristam.
Dharmastano dharma pathosya pristam.
Kastasya medram grishanau samitrao.
Kastasya medram risano cha mitra.
Ukshi samudra girayosti sangha.
Kuksi samudra girayosti sangha. Vidho tarasto dhara eva lobho.
Vidho tarasto tara eva lobho.
Dharmastano dharma pathosya pristam.
Dharmastano dharma pato shapristam.
Kastasya medram risna cha mitra.
Kastasya medram grishanau samitrao.
Kuksi samudra girayosti sangha.
Ukshi samudra girayosti sangha.
Vrita
Modesty.
modesty.
Uttara.
Uttara
Upper.
upper.
Ostha.
Ostha
Lip.
lip.
Adaraha.
Adaraha
Chin.
chin.
Eva.
Eva
Certainly.
certainly.
Lobaha.
Lobaha
Hankering.
hankering.
Dharmaha.
Dharmaha
Religion.
religion.
Stanaha.
Stanaha
Breast.
breast.
Adharma.
Adharma
Irreligion.
irreligion.
Pataha.
Pataha
Way.
way.
Asya.
Asya
His.
his.
Pristham.
Pristham
Back.
back.
Kaha.
Kaha
Brahma.
Brahma.
Tasya.
Tasya
His.
his.
Medhram.
Medhram
Genitals.
genital.
Vishanau.
Vrishanau
Testicles.
testicle.
Cha.
Cha
Also.
also.
Mitrao.
Mitrao
The Mitra Varunas.
the Mitra Varunas.
Kukshihi.
Kupshihi
Waste.
west.
Samudraha.
Samudraha
The ocean.
the ocean.
Girayaha.
Irayaha
The hills.
the
Asti.
asti
Bones.
bone.
Sangaha.
Sangha
Stack.
stack.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki.
Jai.
A modesty is the upper portion of his lips. Hankering is his chin. Religion is the breast of the Lord. And irreligion is his back. Brahmaji, who generates all living beings in the material world, is his genitals, and the Mitra Varunas are his two testicles. The ocean is his waist, and the hills and mountains are the stacks of his bones. Kindly repeat after me. Modesty is the upper portion
Modesty is the upper portion
of his lips.
of his lip.
Hankering is his chin.
Hankering is his chin.
Religion is the breast
Religion is the breast
of the Lord.
of the Lord.
And irreligion
And irreligion
is his back.
is his back.
Brahmaji,
Brahmaji,
who generates
who generate
all living beings
all living being
in the material world,
in the material world,
is his genitals.
is his genital.
And the Mitra Varunas
And the Mitra Varunas
are his two testicles.
are his two testicles.
The ocean
The ocean
is his waist.
is his waist.
And the hills and mountains
And the hills and mountains
are the stacks
are the text
of his bones.
of his bones.
Report. The Supreme Lord is not impersonal as misconceived by less intelligent thinkers. Rather, he is the Supreme Person as confirmed in all authentic Vedic literatures. But his personality is different from what we can conceive. It is stated here that Brahmaji acts as his genitals and that the Mitra Varunas are his two testicles. This means that as a person, he is complete with all bodily organs. But they are of different types with different potencies. When the Lord is described as impersonal, therefore, it should be understood that his personality is not exactly the type of personality found within our imperfect speculation. One can, however, worship the Lord even by seeing the hills and mountains or the ocean and the sky as different parts and parcels of the gigantic body of the Lord, the Virat Purusha. The Virat Rupa, as exhibited by Lord Krishna to Arjuna, is a challenge to the unbelievers. Translation again. Modesty is the upper portion of his lips. Hankering is his chin. Religion is the breast of the Lord, and irreligion is his back. Brahmaji, who generates all living beings in the material world, is his genital, and the Mitra Varunas are his two testicles. The ocean is his waist, and the hills and mountains are the stacks of his bones. So the ongoing description of the Virat Rupa, universal form of the Lord, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that by hearing this description of the uh, universal form of the Lord, which is very much going into detail, uh, comparing various parts of the universal form to all of the different parts of the body that we have, that we understand, uh, mouth, teeth, head, feet, stomach, etc. So Prabhupada is making the point that we can therefore understand that the Lord is not in impersonal, um, that the Lord is very much the person, and everything that we can see and experience in the material world is a reflection of that personal aspect or different personal features of the Lord. Just like the beauty, we are all attracted. Everyone in the material world is attracted by beautiful sunrise, beautiful sunset, as we mentioned yesterday. Um, everyone is attracted by nice music, nice sound, isn't it? Uh, everyone is attracted by uh, tasting um, uh, food stuff, which is pleasing to the palate, to the tongue. So all of these are uh, we can experience. We can see so much of uh, attraction or attractive features within the material world. These are but, as Krishna also explains in the Bhagavad Gita, but a spark of his splendor, just a very tiny manifestation of the Lord's uh, unlimited and inconceivable powers and potencies. So Prabhupada makes the point here that those who, for different reasons, cannot uh, appreciate the actual personal form of the Lord as Satchit Ananda Vigraha, Krishna is described. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha. Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. He is the cause of all causes. And he has a Vigraha or form. Lord has form. Those who are not able to appreciate or to accept that form of the Lord are invited, are recommended to study the material nature, the cosmic manifestation, and to develop some type of attraction or at least some type of reverence, so that one can appreciate uh, the uh, the beauty of the material world, all of the different uh, displays of energy, uh, of inconceivable uh, powers, just like uh, when volcano erupts or when there's a tsunami, it is uh, uh, or some big tornado within just like apparently here in Mayapur, generally in the month of May, April or May, some very unexpected big storm take place. Within 2 minutes, the whole building can be gone, disappeared. Material nature is extremely powerful, isn't it? And and extremely attractive, beautiful. The whole That is the situation. Everyone is actually uh, fascinated. Mm. Everyone is very attracted uh, to different features of the material world. But these are all expressions or emanations uh, ultimately from Krishna himself. So this point is being made here. Uh, that worship, uh, one can, however, worship the Lord. Yeah, one can worship the Lord even by seeing the hills and mountains or the ocean and the sky as different parts and parcels of the gigantic body of the Lord, which is uh, referred to as the Virat Purusha. And Prabhupada concludes actually in this purport that this Virat Rupa, as exhibited by Lord Krishna to Arjuna, is a challenge to the unbelievers. So, uh, we'll just continue uh, hearing the description of this Virat Rupa form of the Lord. Mm, and we'll just read the yeah, text number 33. Nadyo Shanadyo Tatanu Ruhani Mahiruha Vishwatanor Nritandra Ananta Virya Swasitam Matarishva Matarishva Gatir Vaya Karma Guna Prabhaha. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. O King, so this is Shukadeva Goswami speaking to Parikshit Maharaj. O King, the rivers are the veins of the gigantic body. The trees are the hairs of his body. And the omnipotent air is his breath. The passing ages are his movements. And his activities are the reactions of the three modes of material nature. Report. The personality of Godhead is not a dead stone, nor is he inactive, as is poorly thought by some schools. He moves with the progress of time, and therefore he knows all about the past and future, along with his present activities. There is nothing unknown to him. The conditioned souls are driven by the reactions of the modes of material nature, which are the activities of the Lord. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 7:12, the modes of nature act under his direction only, and as such, no natural functions are blind or automatic. The power behind the activities is the supervision of the Lord, and thus the Lord is never inactive, as is wrongly conceived. The Vedas say that the Supreme Lord has nothing to do personally, as is always the case with superiors, but everything is done by his direction. As it is said that not a blade of grass moves without his sanction. In the Brahma Samhita 548, it is said that all the universes and the heads of them, the Brahmas, exist only for the duration of his breathing period. The same is confirmed here. The air on which the universes and the planets within the universes exist is nothing but a bit of the breath of the unchallengeable Virat Purusha. And so even by studying the rivers, trees, air, and passing ages, one can conceive of the personality of Godhead without being misled by the formless conception of the Lord. In Bhagavad Gita 12:5, it is stated that those who are much inclined to the formless conception of the Supreme Truth are more troubled than those who can intelligently conceive of the personal form. Um, so the continuing description um, and the main point that Prabhupada is making here is that um, this material world in which we are living, this very body that we have, is alive, isn't it? It's full of activity, has form. Uh, we experience things on the gross bodily platform. We experience things on the subtle material platform, gross body, subtle body. Uh, and all this is made possible uh, because there is uh, something uh, something behind, or there's a source, uh, as Prabhupada would explain. The spiritual world is not devoid of variety. Cannot God cannot be devoid of uh, all of the different things that we experience in this material world. Uh, we are persons, we have intelligence, we have feelings, uh, so we have activities, we have a form. These um, these attributes we should understand, at least as devotees. This is a clear understanding we have. All of these attributes that we have, that we can experience in the material world, uh, are there because they exist in their original, pure, unadulterated form in the spiritual world. Um, and Prabhupada concludes here in the purport by explaining or stating that those who are uh, what is it? Yeah. Those who are inclined to the formless conception of the supreme truth are more troubled than those who can intelligently perceive the personal form. In other words, uh, our lives become more uh, more peaceful, more natural uh, when we cultivate this knowledge of the personal uh, aspect of the absolute truth, as opposed to uh, the impersonal uh, conception. Prabhupada would quote very often one particular verse explaining how this impersonal uh, conception that is upheld actually by majority of transcendentalists, majority of people who are transcendentalists uh, prefer accepting the impersonal feature of the Lord. Um, but as stated here by Srila Prabhupada, that process is very troublesome, um, and it generally takes very, very long time for people. Those who are caught up in the personal feature of the Absolute Truth takes them generally a very, very long time to accept or to come to the personal aspect of Godhead. So that means that actually a devotee uh, who cultivates this knowledge, uh, his um, his situation is much more, uh, we could say, uh, much more conducive for advancing in spiritual life, uh, because we are uh, regaining or developing uh, our original consciousness. In other words, the original consciousness of the living entity is uh, is to be a person, to be engaged in personal relationships, and ultimately to develop our personal relationship with Krishna. Uh, Therefore, the position of someone who is accepting the personal aspect of the personal form, or someone who's taking that means to the process of bhakti or devotional service, is, as Krishna confirms in the Bhagavad Gita, susukam kastamadhyayam. This process of uh, bhakti or devotional service is happily performed because it is bringing us ultimately to our original constitutional position. And that particular verse begins with Raja Vidya, Raja Guyam, Pavitram, Idam, Uttamam, Pratyakshavagamam Dharnyam, Susukam, Kartam, Avyayam. That one can actually perceive uh, and experience the satisfaction of being uh, engaged in personal service to the Lord. Prabhupada would say that Krishna consciousness a is not a hazy philosophy as we find in many other philosophies. It is not speculative. Uh, Krishna conscious philosophy, which is primarily emphasizing, uh, is primarily focused on the personal aspect of Godhead. Uh, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, that God is a person, a personality who has uh, intelligence, who has feelings, who has form, who has qualities, who has attributes, who has activities, pastimes, which he displays in the material world. Uh, when we are fortunate to come to that uh, uh, understanding, then um, susukam kartamyavayam, our lives become very peaceful uh, because we are uh, regaining our original constitutional uh, position uh, as eternal servants of Krishna. Other processes are uh, not having those features. They are much more troublesome and therefore not recommended. So we'll just read that last verse that we read now, um, which was text 33. Yeah. O king, the rivers are the veins of the gigantic body, the trees are the hairs of his body, and the omnipotent air is his breath. The passing ages are his movements, and his activities are the reactions to the three laws of his own nature. The mode of passion kicks in around 7 o'clock here in the morning because people start coming to work. Um, so, any thoughts or comments on this? So, therefore, devotees can see and can appreciate the presence of the Lord uh, not only on the altar in the temple, but within material nature, isn't it? Um, and increase, gradually increase one's uh, um, appreciation uh, of the inconceivable potencies of Krishna, because material nature is uh, an extension and an expression of Krishna in all of his different forms and features, which is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita also. When we are very thirsty, drinking water is very satisfactory. So I am the taste of water. So when we taste water, nowadays it's difficult to get good water. But by nature, if we go to a place where uh, man has not polluted, more and more difficult to find such places, then when our devotees uh, went to devotees had acquired a new uh, some land near Jakarta in Indonesia, in a place called Puncak. Puncak means actually mountain, small, not so small actually, mountain area, and and there was a small rivulet passing by. So they started drinking that water, thinking it was clean, but it was not actually, and they all became very sick. Uh, but previously, when uh, we didn't have all of these factories and chemicals, and uh, where every day, just like today, the Ganga is heavily polluted. People are getting all kinds of diseases uh, because of all the waste from different factories that are poured in all the different rivers. Uh, so when we respect nature, when we uh, live uh, a more simple and natural life in harmony with nature, then nature gives or provides uh, very pure and natural um, nutrients that are necessary actually for the body. Um, so nowadays it's more difficult to appreciate. The material nature has become uh, very compromised, very polluted in so many ways. Um, so that means that when we agree to live a more simple, natural life, we can uh, appreciate even more the natural beauty of this material world, which is again a reflection of what is original in the spiritual world. Okay, we'll close here for now. Jai Granth Rajwan Bhagavatam Ki, Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki, Gaur Ki